Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. It's a good day to celebrate St. Patrick. It's a good day to wear green. If you're an Irish person, you're probably feeling on top of the world right now. Soak it all up because you only get one day, and then it's back to... I guess it doesn't really count as you can fully celebrate St. Patrick's Day because he's a man and it's Women's Month. So shame on you, St. Patrick, for barging in on Women's Month to celebrate your man ass. I'm not for it. No way, no how. I'm not going to drink a green beer and be like, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It's, who cares, that's Women's Month. It's St. Patrick's Day. We're going to celebrate my boy Patrick and all that he's done. The patron saint of Ireland back in the day. You know how I'm going to celebrate it? I'm going to wear a green t-shirt. And if people don't wear green... I'm going to pinch him. You better believe that I will. Isn't that kind of funny? How, us as Americans, we thought of it, being, not like polite, not like, maybe nice, but we decided as a society, as a country, when we got the Irish people in and they brought their St. Patrick's Day thing over here, because I doubt that Americans back then, when the Irish first migrated to the U.S., were like, yeah, we have the same thing here too. Yeah, we have always known St. Patrick. I bet you when they got a whiff of that, they're like, oh, how can we make money off of this? Why don't we make everybody dress up in green? Why don't we make the beer green? Why don't we sell shamrock shakes? Why don't we really make it all, corporate? We'll sell like decorations of 4-leaf clovers, and we'll put leprechauns on shit. You'll make it fun for the kids. Like, oh, want to go? Is there a rainbow today? Typically in March you might get a little bit of a shower, depending on where you live, and then maybe a little bit of sun peeking out. You get that rainbow. They're like, oh, follow the rainbow to the pot of gold. I don't know if that was created by Americans, but it certainly seems like it would have been. You think about it, rainbow leading to a pot of money or gold. That could be the Irish, but I'm no source of anything. I don't do research. It's a very loose-leafed podcast. I just kind of go by experiences, and my experience with St. Patrick's Day has always been about leprechauns, green, shamrock shakes, and when I got older, eventually you would get a green beer. Now I gave up beer for Lent, so that won't be happening this year. No way, no how. But, you just kind of think about it and, see, like, how have we, potentially, celebrated that holiday. And it's a religious holiday. St. Patrick, patron saint of Ireland, he is a saint, a man of God, a holy man, a man of the church. He's a Roman Catholic man. And yet a lot of people love to party, go to bars, get drunk, which, I'm not trying to say that I'm saying no fun, but it almost certainly kind of feels like, we kind of took it all for a swing, for a spin. Like, yeah, it's for a saint. It's rooted in religion, but we're gonna have some fun with it. I've always thought that was kind of funny. That was kind of like, oh, hey, there's one thing that these people brought over that was cool. Let's make it a celebration. Because if you look back on the St. Patrick's Day, the Irish people would go to, church and have celebrations. They would, have parades. They would eat, bacon and cabbage, traditional Irish food on that day. Also wear green. And it was mainly for religious purposes. Nowadays, I'm sure you can go to church on St. Patrick's Day, But for the most people, the younger generation, you think that they're taking this opportunity to go give me the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit and say, God, thank you for St. Patrick, for making it a day where I can drink nothing but green beer in a bar and get absolutely wasted on a day that should be celebrating our religion, and breaking a commandment is in getting drunk. I don't know, it just kind of seems like a little, misleading in a way, because it feels like it's super religious. Like I said, it was created like when he was a saint back in the day, the 5th century Saint Patrick. When he was in charge, when he had duties. I mean, there's literally stained glass paintings in churches of Saint Patrick, our boy, for this special occasion. I got to throw it back to how can we possibly celebrate St. Patrick in International Women's Month? Or is it Women's Empowerment Month? I don't even know which one it is. But it's Women's Month. I call it Women's Month. And for him to hijack it in the year of 2022, maybe we should just cancel St. Patrick's Day so we can have it exclusively for women. No, I ain't gonna have a man's name on my calendar during that month. No way, no how. No shape. We shouldn't have it. It's tragic. I can't imagine all the women thinking marking their calendars every day through this beautiful month of women empowerment and appreciation, and them to get on their calendar, and it says pretty much on every calendar that you buy in the U.S., St. Patrick's Day. That must sting. It would sting me. I know what that much. It would sting my soul. It would sting my entire being. I would not know what to do. Just would not know what to do. Do I protest? Do I go for it? Do I just go with it? What should I do? I don't know. It just seems like people are gonna be like, God damn you, St. Patrick, how could you do this to me? This is my month. I've worked so hard for this 1 month, and you have to be a sore thumb and just smack dab in the middle of it and ruin my entire month. I'm sure I'm speaking for some women. I'm probably some are like, a big deal, which is also good because it's also just a day, if you think about it. It's like Valentine's Day. Do we really need to dedicate one day out of the entire year for absolute love? Like I've said before, do we need to really dedicate one day to St. Patrick? Why can't we just make every day, appreciate a saint day? I don't know. Isn't that what church is for? You kind of celebrate all the saints and all the things and all the holy things. I don't know. I just feel like, it's like, why can't I have green beer every day? Why can't I wear green every day? Not saying you can't, but why on this specific day? Why can't it just be called I don't know, something else? Not saying that I hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I got no problem with it. It was always fun in school. But I think if you don't really live around a whole ton of Irish people, I live in California, so there's maybe 2 in the entire state. I'm sure there's more, but I don't really get all that much festivities. Or Irish culture or tradition, just don't see it that often. Maybe if I live on the East Coast, where that was a big thing, where you got a lot of Irish people there. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the park. We're gonna go drink some beer. Wanna come, laddie? Like that. And I'll be like, yeah, let's go. Pretty sure they don't sound like that. Irish Americans definitely don't sound like that. That was a bit mean there. I apologize to all my Irish brothers and sisters out there. That was mean. That was rude. Do apologize. But I would love to go there. I would love to see how it is, how it looks. I mean, do we have statues of leprechaun? No, that's mean. Do we have statues of St. Patrick? Do we have the Boston Celtics? I mean, are one of the main things that represent Irish in that area. I mean, So the guy had to have been Irish or wanted to, whoever owned the team back then or whoever came up with the name had to have been Irish or knew that there's a lot of Irish people in this city that, hey, if I name it Boston Celtics, it's going to be, they're going to want to identify with the team more. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's got to be something there. There's something that I just haven't tapped into. And, yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy the day. I hope you continue to thrive, continue to prosper, drink a lot of green beer, do whatever you want, go swim in a green pool. I'm sure they have those there. Wear green, don't get pinched. Paint your face if you do that. Have fun at your parade. If you go to church, bless up, enjoy. I guess just have fun. And if you're a woman and are mad about this, I truly am. I apologize. It's not a good thing. How dare this saint take up a day of your month? It's truly tragic. I mean, it's such a big problem. Forget about the war. This makes me angry. I feel like I need to take up a sword and, protest to end this because it's this is your month. It was smack dab in the middle, St. Patrick, a man. In International Women's Month? Not on my watch. We gotta change this. I'm gonna write a bill. And get it signed. Everybody should know that this should change. This should stop. Much like the Daylight Savings Bill. Now, I know I don't get political on this channel, this podcast ever. But I feel like the sun and light, daylight, savings is... the sun isn't really political. So I'm going to speak up on this, passing the bill to permanently be in daylight savings time, meaning it's going to get darker later. It's going to be darker later. It's going to stay light for much longer than we've been used to back when we would go to regular time in the fall and in the winter. I don't really have a problem with this at all. I feel like it's fine. And, in particular, once we get used to it, it's going to be nothing, right? Like, it's just going to be the new normal. Like, I feel like it's like, people who make a big deal out of it, are going to be mad. Like, yeah, for maybe a couple weeks when it doesn't, switch back or something happens. But, eventually, if it, we never go, let's say we never, ever go back to regular time. We always stay in daylight savings time. I'm sure we're going to get used to it, right? I don't even know which is better for you. Is it better to have sunlight earlier or sunlight later? I don't really know. I feel like there's also some argument to having sunlight earlier than later. You know what I'm saying? When the sun rises, I naturally feel like I need to wake up. You know what I'm saying? If the sun is still not risen, it's still beneath the mountains and, the other side of the earth, I don't really want to wake up. If that makes any sense. It would always pain me when I have to go in super, super early and, not have the sun there. I would just want to fall back asleep, it seems like. I always feel like I got time. Reality, I don't have any time at all. I got to get ready right now. It was always a pain in the ass for my situation. I don't know if that's the same with you or you even care. I have no idea. But I also thought of maybe us as Californians, and if you don't live in California, you wouldn't get this, but we get sun a lot. We don't live in the Midwest or the Northeast or the South, really, where you can have rain, you can have snow, you can have, actual weather. We get weather too, but it's not like your guys' weather, where it's cloudy and cold. We don't get snow really where I live. So I kind of feel like, it's almost like it's to give you some more sunlight when you do have the sunlight, because I would imagine certain times in the Northeast or the Midwest or even the South where it's just nothing but cloudiness and no sun. So I understand. I mean, we do share the same country, like everybody is always talking about sunny California and how it's always sunny here, which it is for the majority of the year. It's very sunny. So I feel like, in a way, like we get spoiled with the amount of sun that we get. And I kind of feel like when we get a little bit, when it is hot, when it is very warm, and it is very sunny, we also too kind of like a little break of the sun. We enjoy the thunderstorms. We enjoy the cooler weather because we don't get a lot of it. We're mainly hot. We're hot people over here. Both like temperature and, the other hot. We're just warmer people, which I understand. Like you probably like thinking like if you live like in Ohio, you'll be like, I just wish we had more sun. It's always so cold here. We need a break. I want it to be 70 something now. Meanwhile, in California, when we have like 100-degree weather for like, I don't know, 6 months straight, maybe 5 months straight, it's like, bro, just give me a cloud, please. Make it rain or something. I always say, and I always joke about this, like, I'm joking around when I say it, like, California could use like a tropical storm type of weather because we're always in a drought. Not to say that our infrastructure or our buildings or our streets or our roads are capable to handle that much rain. They're not. We one time had like a lot of rain for once, and it was a lot of rain for like one day. Like a day, like it broke a record of how much rain we got. And our streets in the towns did not have the irrigation to handle that much rain, and it flooded. Like I wouldn't assume like if you live like in New York where it rains a lot, like you guys can handle rain. You guys' system and all that is built to handle a lot of rain. I would know. I've seen The Day After Tomorrow, and it's pretty good in the movie. But us in California, we're just not equipped for all that rain. But we do love it though. When we have it, it's like hallelujah. It's like our prayers have been answered. There's rumors and people throw things out there about farmers needing it. I don't know if that's true or not. Like it's never been really that clear to me if that's the real reason why we do daylight savings and regular time. I don't know if that's true or not. We live in 2022 nowadays. That might be not as accurate. I mean, I've really looked into it to see like why we do it. I just know that it's like that's like been like a root of a reason or an origin of a reason for like years, as long as I can remember when it was first explained to me when I was a young kid. And I was like, oh, why do we do it? Oh, that's why. It was never really like taught in school like this is why we do it. This is why we don't do it. It's like, okay. In Arizona, by the way, they never do any of that. Who gave them the authority to not do any of that? They're part of the country. Right? I know, like, Arizona doesn't do it. I believe Hawaii doesn't. Alaska is always fucked because they have sometimes days where the sun never goes down, right? Because they're so high up in the earth. And then I guess it would be like reversed in like the other seasons, right? I don't know. It almost makes you think like, how would I do in Alaska? Could I live on the frontier, the last American frontier, Alaska? I've always thought about that. I've always wanted to go to Alaska because I enjoy nature. You may not think that, but just, walking outside in some woods and some mountains without a phone, it's actually nice. You feel connected to the planet. You feel one with the earth. That urge that urge of being around other living things, hearing birds chirp, and you can get that here too, but what I'm saying is like a lot of that is like pretty much untamed in Alaska. And even when I go camping in California, you still get that same feeling. But I would imagine it just be like a little bit more wild in Alaska. Now, also there's like grizzly bears up there, and there's like a bunch of other animals that could kill you, like a wolf. which could induce fear and make you not want to go there. But I would be like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go check out Alaska, as long as we can be in an RV when we sleep or hotel, because I don't want to be in a tent where a grizzly bear could stumble in, and if I don't have a sword, I'm done. It's like, Jesus, I would need that protection. I would need that the RV or the trailer that's like made of solid steel or something, that way I could just be at peace when I go to bed. Barbie was trending last week. Barbie was trending, and I didn't know why until I saw what it actually was. It was apparently Amy Schumer was going to play Barbie. If you don't know who Amy Schumer is, she's a female comedian known for making very raunchy jokes about her, her being as a woman, her sexuality, her sex life, and kudos to her. I could never do such a thing because I'm not well equipped, but it would be, she has a big following. She's a very popular comedian. Very, very popular. I've seen some of her specials. I don't find them all particularly funny, just like how I find other comedians from other genders not as funny. It's just not my taste. And she recently dropped out of it or quit, I think, because of creative differences. And it's been reported, I believe, that Margot Robbie is replacing Barbie. Is going to be replacing her as Barbie. And, well, first of all, I didn't even know about this because I don't know anything about Barbie. I mean, you throw out G.I. Joe, then I might have an idea what's happening. But Barbie, I had no idea. But then I heard a bunch of shit on social media, and people were like, yeah, it should be Margot Robbie because Barbie's hot. Like, what? Excuse you? Like, yeah, Barbie was hot. Like, who the hell thought that? Like, I grew up with a sister. She had Barbies. They were just dolls, right? Was I not the only one that was like, these are my sister's toys, get them out of here. Give me my shit. I'm cool. I never really was like, yeah, dude, she should be hot. Barbie was hot. I just never really thought that. It's almost kind of like people getting mad about Lola Bunny not being hot. It's like, wait a minute, you're telling me that you were like, yeah, Lola Bunny, or yeah, Barbie. Like, she's got to be hot, dude. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, Barbie is going to be made for kids, I would assume. It's a girl's toy, like a little child's toy. Like, they play house with them. They play makeup. They play shit like that with Barbie and Ken, right? I mean, why would it be any way, in shape or form, what you are thinking it's probably going to be? Like, oh yeah, she's going to be so hot. Like, no, it's not going to happen. That's absolutely insane to think about that. And also, wouldn't you rather have Amy Schumer as Barbie? Wouldn't that be probably the most bizarrely hilarious thing of all time? Could you imagine Amy Schumer ripping jokes in that movie, about the guy she slept with the night before? Or stuff like that? Could you imagine how funny that would have been? Now we're just getting basic ass brain dead. Not brain dead, that's mean. Basic hot Barbie. I mean, from what people said, it's like, come on. Give me a Barbie that I want to laugh at. Because depending on how good, I'm not saying that the movie's going to be amazing. I mean, but it's going to be laughable. It's going to be like absolutely uncalled for. Why are they even making a Barbie movie in the first place? Like, what's that all about? It's like, all right, yeah, Toy Story did it. We could do it too. Like, no, that's different. First of all, I don't even know if it's going to be animated or live action, right? I mean, I think it is live action. I would assume that it's live action because there was things about getting heels and all that in the script and all that. And she's like, I don't want to get that. I want to be a better thing for women or something. That was like a creative differences, and that's why she dropped out. So I'm assuming that it's got to be live action. But I mean, Could you imagine Barbie, Amy Schumer as Barbie? I mean, God, it would have been hilarious. She would have been talking about stupid shit. Like, oh shit, I got a burning sensation. Stuff like that. Or, whatever Amy Schumer's comedy is. I haven't seen her in a long, long time either. Like, in anything. She used to be in movies, TV, comedy specials. She had that one movie with... It was actually, like, pretty well, received, I think. It was like... It had, like, LeBron James in it or something. Trainwreck. Trainwreck with, her and Bill Hader. That was the movie. Which I heard was, like, decent. And after that, I don't know what happened. I think she had kids and was like, took a break of all that stuff. Kudos to her. She has the money to do that. She has kids now, I think, so she's loving the kids, which is good. All right, you always want to, see kids with a good mother that cares for you and all that. It's great. It's beautiful. It's good to see. Truly is. It brightens the day. It brightens my soul. It makes me feel good. When people are happy. And if she's happy being dropped out of it, if she's happy with not, having to sign on and be Barbie, and like, no, I wanted to be this Barbie, and you're making me be that Barbie. I don't want to do that. Again, this movie, it probably is not, I don't see any way, shape, or form that this movie is not for kids. It has to be for kids. It's Barbie. They're dolls. They're marketed to young girls. What the hell is it going to be about? If they try to slut up Barbie, could you imagine that? Like, they slut her up and all that, and then Amy Schumer was like, "No, I didn't want to be a slut. I'm a slut on my act. I don't want to be a slut in the movie. What are you doing to me? I'm not a slut no more." I'm not saying she is a slut. I have no idea that she is, but her comedy leaned into that, and I know it's all jokes, but still, she kind of like went that route. I guess it wasn't fully like parading like I am slut with a picket fence. It wasn't like that, but she had a lot of jokes like that where you'd be like, yeah, she kind of seems like a even though she probably isn't, which I'm sure she isn't. She's a mom anyway. I don't know, maybe she grew up. Maybe she's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to rebrand. I want to be, I want to be the new Amy Schumer, which again I haven't seen much of lately. The last thing I've seen her in was Trainwreck, and she was younger back then. She had a much more comedic personality. Like I said, I haven't seen her in anything lately, so she's probably changed. Probably a better person. Probably, maybe not even a comedian. I don't even know. I have no idea. Like I said, there's no research done on this podcast. I can ask. I'm like, hey, can you look that up real quick? What her life is like. Just check it out real quick, all right? Moving on, though. Moving on. I want to talk about a show that I've been watching. It's on HBO and HBO Max. It's called Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty in the 1980s. It's a dramatization, but it's depicting actual events, but a dramatization, and it's probably not 100% real. It's got to be not 100% real. It's very dramatized. It's very entertaining, but it's telling the story of like Dr. Jerry Buss and his acquiring of the Lakers, and him essentially making them the Showtime Lakers, and him signing Magic Johnson, and what happened throughout that time in their dynasty. And I was intrigued because, one, that's a super, super interesting time to be in LA. Not just in sports, but with the Lakers, but like the culture, the people, the characters, the way things worked back then, and in the perspective of Jerry Buss, played by John C. Reilly, and then other characters like, his daughter's in it, Jeannie Buss, his mom is in it, who's his who essentially keeps him afloat, played by Sally Field, a bunch of other characters that are in it. Jason Clarke plays what does he play? He plays Jerry West, and I'm getting a certain vibe from it. I'm getting a vibe that I hope that none of this is true, because in any form of medium, when you tell a story about a real person and real events, in order to make it sell as a TV show, a series, not a doc or a biopic, you gotta make it wild and much more dramatized. So as I'm watching it, I'm like, I'm liking it. But everybody in this show is like a douchebag or scumbag or smug and all that. And I'm like, I really hope these guys were not as bad or as big of jerks as they are in this show. And it almost makes me want to watch like an actual documentary of that time and not a show of it. Now I'll give you this. The show is very good. It's very, very well done. Super well done. I mean, it's got film grain to it. It looks like it was shot like back in the 80s. The makeup, the hair, the wardrobe, the costumes and all that. Recreating Los Angeles and other parts of the country back in 1979 or, up until that point that I've seen is very good. The characters and how they walk and how they talk and how they go about their lives, and you can just kind of tell, like, oh, this is just a different era. There's no cell phones. There's, like, house phones. There's, like, everybody's got to call everybody. There's meetings. People are, like, driving these old cars. The way they dress, their diets are, like, not, like, pristine like they are nowadays. If you lived in LA, like, it's just, like, it does a good job of teleporting you into that era. And the film grain and the way that it's shot helps a lot. I gotta give a lot of credit to that because that was a good direction and a really cool idea. But at the same time, when I watch it, I almost feel like I'm watching like actual footage. And it's because the actors who they got to play, like I said, Dr. Jerry Buss, John C. Reilly, Magic Johnson, the actor who plays Magic Johnson in this show, it really kind like looks just like Magic Johnson. It's crazy. Like there's some things that are just like, not super accurate, but like for the most part, like he's nailing like Magic Johnson's charisma, his way with people, the way he speaks, the smile. His name is Quincy Isaiah. I never heard of him before, but he's killing it as Magic Johnson. Like I said, John C. Reilly, Jason Clarke is doing very good. And it mainly centers around, for the most part, the first 2 episodes, because I didn't review the first one. That's why I'm not reviewing it, but I'm like giving you my thoughts on it right now. The first couple episodes really are about or circle around Jerry Buss, Magic Johnson, and Jerry West. So far, there's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's in the show. He's not in it a whole lot right now. That could change. I mean, there's 10 episodes. I'm thinking like that. I mean, we're scratching the surface of where this could go. Like, this could be really, really good, really good. Especially if we get into the basketball stuff and the drama with that, because in this part of the show, like they haven't even started playing basketball yet. It's like there's so much left to do. It's awesome. But everybody really is doing a great job in the show. Everybody in the show looks like they could have been in that time period. Everybody. And that's just to the makeup, the costume design, the look and everything, the film grain. I mean, it's just, it really feels like it's taking you back into the late 70s and the 80s. Really, really well done. Although I feel like I'm not really buying the dramatization a little bit, because I feel like I don't think that these people were this bad or could have been this bad. But, I could be wrong. I mean, there's a lot of like shitty people out there that have high, in high positions in power and like in businesses, like Jerry Buss and the other people that are around him and all that. And even Magic Johnson sometimes comes off as kind of a dick. And when you watch it, it's like, no, not Magic. He could never do this. There's no way this is true. And the thing is, you don't know what's true and what's not. When you watch it, you're like, did that really happen? Was he really like that? I don't know if he was. And if he was, it's kind of disappointing. It's kind of sad. But at the same time, it's like, this is creating some good TV right here. Like, if it wasn't about the actual Lakers, and it wasn't about Jerry Buss, and it was like somebody else, like another team, a made up world, different thing, like, like I don't know, just some fiction, right? You could buy it easily. But because it is based off of people that are living today, and some people that have already, passed, I kind of would wanted it to be an actual docu-series where they have interviews and people like that, and old footage that they might have had, which I doubt that they had any footage of this stuff that happened back then. I mean, it's there's some really good like things that are going on with the show. Like, there's some times where like the characters will like address the audience, like break the fourth wall and say like, see right there, that's the moment where I'm gonna be right and this guy's gonna be wrong, like stuff like that. Like, think about Deadpool. Think of like Deadpool. Like, they're addressing the audience, like, of what's gonna come or what's happening in this situation. It's done very well. It's just like, I don't know what's fully real. I don't know what's true. And because I watch sports, like I'm a sports person, and I know about the Lakers, and especially like I know like the Showtime Lakers back then were super good with Magic, Kareem, and all those guys, and Jerry Buss as their owner. They made their mark and all that. After losing so many times to the Celtics, it's always been like a fascination. It's like, I do wanted to know what it was like back then, because, seeing Magic Johnson talk about his time, how he's so passionate about, we were the Showtime Lakers and all that stuff, like, it always kind of wanted me to, I was like, well, what was that like? And we're getting it here. We are getting it. It's just, as a person, as watching something that's like, that is stuff that actually happened, I want to know what's real and what's not real. That makes sense. And as far as I can tell, nobody that is like, you get some people that were actually living in that time that were like connected to this show. Like, I absolutely would have thought that Magic Johnson would be like a producer or something, or maybe Kareem. He's not at all. I haven't heard him say anything about this show. If he's seen it, if he's on its side, if he's like has thoughts on it, if they like made some shit up that he's not aware of, or that he hates, or that was cool, wasn't cool. But whenever that happens, whenever stuff like that happens, I always tend to be like, well, maybe this, maybe maybe they were involved. They're like, we're going to do this and not this, what you did. And it's like, wait, hang on, that didn't happen. You're putting me in a bad light, stuff like that. I feel like whenever that happens and whoever lived through that is still alive, it just kind of feels weird. I don't know, because people are going to be watching this for the first time and not know a thing about basketball, the Lakers, Magic Johnson. They're not going to know anything. And if people take away that he seems like a douchebag or a scumbag or a dick or whatever, and people come up to him in real life and are like, yeah, I saw your show. And it's like, whoa, I'm not even in that. I'm not even a part of that. That's somebody else's thing, depicting our time and what it was like back then, but isn't fully truthful. So it's like, I don't know. I like it for art. As a show, I dig it. Truly do. Performances, location, all that stuff, it's great. Totally like puts me back into that time period. Like I'm in a time machine. It's awesome. But I just can't help the fact that, that I wish it was like 100% true or very, very close to it. Because there's some things where I'm just like, I don't know if we're true or not. Like I said, Magic's personality, Jerry Buss, is that completely true? Jerry West, is he like that? Was he like that? Was the stuff that is in the show, did he do that? Like, I don't know. Probably never know. If you see Jerry West now, he's an old guy, super old guy, white hair, NBA legend. He was just at the NBA 75-year celebration thing. But I don't know. Not sure. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. If you have no clue about the Lakers or sports or anything like that, it's going to be fun to watch. Because you'll be like, this actually happened. But if you're somebody like me, or even if you want to know the full truth, you probably won't truly enjoy the entire thing. That's just me. I can totally separate, fiction and reality. But if it's reality that really, I'm intrigued in, I'd rather have a docuseries or a documentary, or maybe a little bit more truth of the story. Because at the very beginning of the show, it's like a warning or like a disclaimer, like the stuff that occurs is drama. Some of the stuff that is true. Other stuff is dramatized for TV and like stuff like that. So they're outright saying like, this isn't all 100% true. We're going to dramatize a lot to make it work as a show. And if that was their choice, cool. I'm all for it. I'm still going to keep watching it. I just got a little bit of a gripe with it. Just a little. It's not terrible. It's not bad. It's certainly not a bad show. It's a very well done show with good characters and all that. I mean, it's just, it's definitely HBO too. Definitely HBO. Starts out with a sex scene, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I'm pretty sure like a lot of HBO shows do that now. Like, I think Peacemaker started off with like a NSFW type of scene. Like you can't, it's gonna be a little awkward if you're being caught watching that. Maybe a little bit of a romance scene. Like I feel like that a lot of shows like are on HBO, like they're so like made for that, like sex and violence that sells. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to have a whole lot of violence to make the show watchable. Because if we don't have a good story, at least we got that. At least we get people to bonk, during the show. During prime time, we can bonk them right there. And they'll stick around. They'll be like, is there more? Is there going to be more? Is she going to take her top off? Is there just him? Like, what's going on here? Like, I'm making it sound like that's all I watch it for. No. You know what I didn't get, though? I did not get the craze of Euphoria. Truly did not. I always found it quite disturbing to watch that show. Like, it's about, like, it's not about anything that I would want to watch for leisure, for fun. And maybe you have to be a certain type of way to watch that show. Maybe you have to be in a different mindset. It's made about high school kids. High school kids says a look at life of a group of high school students as they grapple with the issues of drugs, sex, and violence. See, that's why HBO made it. Sex and violence. Drugs, also, another thing, is what gets people to watch. I don't know why, but it is. Seems like a very dark show. I've seen trailers and commercials and stuff like that. It just seems like it's very, in a way, because I've actually been to high school. I've had that experience, and it's a little. To me, I grew up in a different era. It seems fake, but I could definitely see how it could be real today. Definitely could be real today. Maybe because I was such a nerd back then and didn't do that shit and was so I'm like my personality for the my personality back then and my personality now towards that type of high school experience is still kind of the same. I was very anti-party, anti-drink, anti all of that in high school. And I guess this rubbed off to me and my future self that I'm just totally anti-Euphoria and everything about it. I saw one episode, the beginning, and I was like, this is just not for me. And that was when it premiered back in like 2019. People were talking about it like this is a crazy show. That's what they said, like it's crazy. Like, just shit, yeah, it's crazy. It's fucking weird. Like, it just wasn't for me. And I was so like blown away about how many people watched it. So many people that were not even in high school that watched it. I mean, people like my age, older, cross like different age groups watching it. Like, what's the whole deal with this? They just probably, I mean, like, I heard there's a ton of fucking nudity in it, a ton of violence, drugs. I mean, you would assume, right? It's HBO. There was a fair bit in whatchamacallit, in the first episode. I was like, holy shit, this is a lot. And it's weird because they're like, it feels like that's like whenever there's like nudity in this stuff, it's like the main driving force. Like there's a ton of nudity in Game of Thrones. Every episode's got a ton of P's and V's and B's, ton of that shit. Like it's all over the place. You mean in some episodes of Game of Thrones, you walk in and it's just a whorehouse, and some guy there. I mean, it's crazy how much HBO just lets loose. Well, I mean, they get the numbers, right? They get people to watch, so I guess it's working. It doesn't matter about, what it's about, really. If the story's even all that great, I would assume that it is pretty good. If you got some P's, D's, and B's, and A's, I mean, you're golden, right? In terms of making a show that people want to watch, people come back to and watch. I mean, I remember seeing so many posts about this one actress in it. Like, it wasn't Zendaya. It was another chick. I'm trying to find her. Sydney Sweeney. Oh my God. There were so many dudes and people online that just were obsessed with this chick. Obsessed with her. And I don't know if it's for her acting ability. I think a lot of dudes are getting bonked. They're just like, they see her like, oh, she got an Insta, follow like that. Like, they expect to get her personality from the show on their Instagram. Like, come on, really? If I typed in Sydney Sweeney right now, Sydney Sweeney, if she has over 1 million followers right now, before I click on her profile, then it's a bonk. Then it's going to be, because I only know her from this. I'm going to check what she's known for. I only see 4 credits. I only see 4 things. I'm going to go to her filmography real quick. Euphoria, Night Teeth, Strawberry Spring, The Voyeurs, Robot Chicken. It's animated. You can't see her. The White Lotus, Downfalls High, Nocturne, Day by Day. That's a podcast. Hey, just like me. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did not know she was in that. Clementine. I think I've heard of that. Big Time Adolescence. Sharp Objects. That's a TV miniseries. So, Vikings. Did not even see her in that. Okay. But, I'm going to assume that all these followings and all these people that follow her are because of this show. And I'm going to lean to maybe not her acting ability. If you're a man, I'm going to lean into that. I'm not saying it's fully the truth, but I'm going to give me the benefit of the doubt that it's going to be because of they're getting bonked. All right, let me check right now. I'm going to turn over my phone and see how many followers she has on Instagram. If it's more than 1 million, I'm going to be shocked about how many that shows how many dudes probably got obsessed and were like, oh shit, she's on Insta, let's do it. Okay, here it goes. Reveal time in 3, 2, 1. 11 million? 11 million people follow her? Are you kidding? I was expecting like maybe 1 million, but 11 million? Oh my God. Let me check the followers. Let me see. Not that it matters, but dude. Okay, case proven. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's just kind of funny though. I mean, you think about it. I mean, unless she's like Oscar caliber or Emmy caliber in this show, yeah. I mean, I've seen Zendaya act pretty well. Spider-Man, No Way Home, she was incredible. I'm sure she's great in this too. But I mean, for so many dudes to follow this chick, Sydney Sweeney, because of Euphoria, where I'm pretty sure a lot of this is because she's naked in it, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It just shows the power of bonk. It shows the horniness never fails, people. It's undefeated. It's undefeated, and it will never be defeated. Never. I mean, dudes see a nice pair of bees, and they're like, yo, follow. I'm going to follow that shit. They see a nice A, like, she had an Insta, I guess I'll follow. I was not expecting 11 million. I was not. I mean, I can look up Zendaya, and she probably has like 20, 30,000. 30 million, I would assume. Not thousand. Million. She doesn't even have a last name. I mean, she does, but it's not in this. 133 million. Never mind. I was wrong. Even more than I thought. But she's super talented. This Sydney chick, I don't know. Again, I've only seen her in one episode of Euphoria, and I was like, it's kind of weird. But I just want to know why so many people watched it, though. Is it really that good? Like, as a story, as stuff that happens? Because, I mean, it just seems like they're just trying to deal with being a teenager in high school where there's sex, drugs, and violence. I mean, I don't know. Seems pretty... it just seems crazy to me. Crazy. I don't know. But, you know, I'm an outsider. I'm looking on this from the outside. I got my outside goggles on. I've only seen one episode, and that was like years ago. I don't even remember it. I just remember, like, the colors being so, like I was in a rave or something. Like, it was all purple and shit and blue. I was like, is this going to be the entire show? I was like, I'm out of here. Fuck it. I'm going to go watch Band of Brothers because I'm so, boring. Or I'll watch The Mandalorian again. I'm so boring and nerdy. But yeah, I think 100% of those followers are because she's a great actor. I mean, they better be. It's Women's Month. You can't just say like, oh, bonk, follow. Like, no, that's just not okay. That should be illegal. Anyways, though, that's enough of Euphoria. I don't even give a shit about the show. It's probably good. Probably good. I'm not going to watch it, though. Just because so many people watch it. It's kind of like how I felt about Game of Thrones. So many people watched it, and I was like, nah, I'm too good. I'm not going to watch them. Watch it, sorry. I'm better than you. Who cares? Who knows? I mean, it's number 2 trending on IMDb. That show got to be super popping. Moving on. NFL news. Couple news stories here. Couple things that happened. And if you haven't been on the internet in the past couple days, past week or so, you probably missed that, I wouldn't say the villain of the NFL, but the poster boy of the NFL, the most winning person in the NFL, probably the biggest champion, the biggest, the what was I gonna say? The most winning quarterback of all time in the NFL, came back and unretired, and is coming back to the Buccaneers in 2022. Tom Brady is back. Tom Brady came back, shocked the world. Really shocked me too, because I mean, I think everybody in their fucking mind thought that this was the end. Not that it should have been the end. I'm not saying that he is washed and should have stopped and stop him from being an embarrassment because he sucks now. But, he put a bow on it. He decided that this is my time. I am leaving the NFL. I am leaving football. I'm going to be a family man with my kids and Giselle, and I'm going to be going on vacation. We're going to move to Florida, have a good time. I'll probably be at a couple games of people who I like and, have fun. I'll eat some bread on the way, maybe a little bit of pizza, and maybe I'll have a beer or soda, live life a little, and, I'll just have fun. Well, guess what? It only took about 40 days, and this man decides, I'm not done. That was all bullshit. My letter to the Bucks, my letter to the Patriots, my statements on, how I feel and my family, it all washed away within 40 days? I mean, he definitely can keep playing. I just feel like I was robbed of some good stuff. For instance, I tweeted, the picture with his bloodied lip when he was playing the Rams in Tampa Bay, and because he had a mean face on, he looked angry as fuck, and I'm like, this is a good picture. I'll take it and I'll post it. And then when he retired, I quoted that tweet and said, Tom Brady's last game, because that was his final game of the NFL when he lost to the Rams. And then he comes back, and I had to retread and apologize and say that I'll do better, because now he made me look like a fool, look like an absolute idiot. Me. I mean, I get it. You're Tom Brady. You make everybody look like an idiot. You make everybody look stupid. But I think that there's a time and a place and a window that you have. And I'm guessing that the pomp and circumstances and the salutes and the we'll see you later and thanks for the memories and thank you for everything and all the thank yous and everything. For what? You came back. You're back on the team. You're going to be in training camp and all that. Preseason, you're going to do that too. You're back. For what? Everything that we did, that we said goodbye to you, we put goat emojis, we said the goat, we showed the pictures of you with all your rings, and we made artwork of all you. Bleacher Report went all crazy. ESPN went crazy. Everybody went crazy. Other athletes said, thank you so much. Go, 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 go. For what? To come back and belittle all that? Haha, I got you. Just a prank, bro. That's what Tom Brady did. He just did. It's just a prank. Now, not to the fact that, in those videos where they break something and then they're like, oh, it's just a prank. Like they will, like, some of the pranks will be like they actually break your car or break something valuable and say, bro, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. No, you broke all of our tributes, our thank yous, our congratulations, our emotions when we had for you. That was always going to be a day to remember in the NFL. Tom Brady retired day. Tom Brady's this. The person who just bought Tom Brady's final touchdown pass for $500,000. Now it's just a pass. The $600 touchdown ball. That's just a ball now. That's it. And now this man, who what I've seen is fully capable, has the opportunity to get another ring because the NFC South is trash, right? It's terrible now. I mean, you got the Buccaneers, who got Tom Brady back. The Panthers have nobody. I don't even know if they got Cam Newton back. The Saints have nobody. They lost Sean Payton. They lost Drew Brees. They have Jameis Winston, but who knows if he'll stay. And the Falcons, they still have Matt Ryan. They're going to lose. Tom Brady's like thinking like, oh, I'm in the playoffs. Like, I'll just, play football. I got Gronk, I got Godwin, I got Mike Evans, I got BA, I got Leftwich, I got Bowles. We're going to be back, baby. Like, I'm expecting playoffs right now. Unless, it turns for the worse and he actually starts sucking. It's like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? It bites him in the ass, which I doubt, though. It's Tom Brady. I mean, that's just... his mentality is just always win, 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 win. It's like, I don't know if this is, he's going to will himself and his team to be better. And, no more Antonio Brown. Like, he's got none of that baggage, I guess. He'll have Gronkowski, I assume. Chris Godwin will be back fully healthy, I think. And, maybe they make us, maybe they try to pick up somebody else and really make it one last ride. I mean, he didn't say it was going to be his final ride either. He just said, I'll be back for the 2022-2023 season. Like, well, is this it now? I mean, like, and when you do retire, is it going to be your final? Are you actually going to retire? Like, it's going to be like Adam Schefter's going to tweet, Tom Brady actually retires. And then that's it. It's like, it's crazy. It took everybody by storm. I mean, during International Women's Month, during March Madness, the dude stole the show again. That's what he's all about. And it was crazy because he was chatting up with Cristiano Ronaldo like the day before he announced it. Just talking about like, go to GOAT, stuff like that. That's what they always say. And I guess I'm going to guess like maybe Ronaldo knew before everybody else. Maybe Ronaldo talked him into coming back. Who knows what happened there? Are they best buddies now? Like, I'm not sure. I have no idea. But yeah, it all kind of caught us all off guard. Nobody ever thought that this guy would ever come back again. Not because he actually sucked, but because he put, he closed that chapter on his life. He was going to get into doing movie stuff and going to Hollywood potentially. That's all out the door now. I mean, that might still be a thing. It might come out sooner than we think, but he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022. And it's just, why? Because he wanted to come back. He just wanted to come back. And everybody's going to be like, I mean, it's Tom Brady. You got to let him play. You got to let him start. It's Tom Brady. I mean, if you've worked that hard, if you've earned that, if you're like thinking to yourself like, yeah, I've done everything, I'm still good at what I do, I retired, but I want to play again. Maybe I'm not done. Maybe that was an overreaction. All right, I'll come back. I'll just come back. I hope this doesn't become a regular thing. Like, I think that when people do this, when they do these things and they get the fans riled up and they get, people getting all sad and sappy and mopey that their favorite player retires and they got to do other things now and they got to live their lives without that person. And like, just kidding, I'm back. I mean, what does that do to a person's emotions? Probably wrecks them to pieces. But, I guess we just keep moving then. Maybe you could do the Tom Brady thing. Maybe you can do the same thing. Maybe you retire from your job and then like a month later you're like, nah, I'm just kidding, I'm back. What's up? What's up, everybody? Let's have some fun. Maybe you could do that with like your job. Like, I quit. No, I'm back. Like, you probably can't do that. But if you retired, I mean, I'm sure people are going to try that now. Like, well, Tom Brady did it. I'm going to do it too. It's like, bitch, you're not Tom Brady. You can be replaced. It's like, we'll see about that. That's if you think that your self-wealth is like Tom Brady level, though. Like, I'm as good at what I do as Tom Brady is at being a quarterback in the NFL. In fact, I think I'm better. I am the Tom Brady of sales. I'm the Tom Brady of stocking goods. I'm the Tom Brady of making burgers. I'm the Tom Brady of, writing some stuff. I'm the Tom Brady of reporting. You can't live without me. I think that we all kind of think that we are that. At least you should have that mentality of that. You should have that. That's a winning mentality. That's a great mentality. And I think that's, that's a cool thing to leave off on. Have the Tom Brady mentality. Come back. Why not? Might piss some people off, your enemies off, like, he's back again? No! Like, oh my God, the Colts social media team. Incredible. When they first tweeted the episode of that SpongeBob episode when SpongeBob was moving because his house was gone, his pineapple house died, and then Squidward was like, well, see you later, SpongeBob, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, and then he goes into his house and is like celebrating. That was like the Colts' perspective. And then SpongeBob was Tom Brady, like, yeah, we're leaving. Yeah, okay, see you later. Good luck. Yes, he's no longer in the NFL. We could be good now. We could actually win things. Because if you don't remember, Tom Brady was absolutely a demon to those Colts teams. He was their kryptonite with Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. Back when he was in the AFC, he dominated those guys. Because the Colts were always the next best team. But they rarely ever beat them to go to the Super Bowl or to advance, whatever. They just were always the kings of the Colts. Tom Brady was the quarterback, so that's why they did that. And then they responded right back when he unretired of the same scene, the same episode, when the seed of the pineapple is growing, and then his house returns, and he's like, my house is back. And then the house drops on Squidward, and then SpongeBob running into his house celebrating. He's like, yes, I'm back forever. And then Squidward's like, forever? Like, all just, like, deflated. And a winner like Tom Brady has that effect on every team in the NFL. Every team. Because he got better and better. And, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. Another wild season. The building blocks of a good season are happening. Of course, the news of Von Miller signing with the Bills deeply saddened me and with my Rams, and I knew that it wasn't going to happen. I figured that they don't have the money. They really, really don't have the money. He's going to say, I want to be here because he doesn't want to piss off the fans, obviously. Before, even if he did sign and he said that stuff, we would still be like, yeah, but you didn't really want to be here. Is he a good fit? And now that he signed with the Bills for a huge deal, $120 million deal, I mean, I knew it was going to be for the money because we couldn't pay him. We traded so many people and got rid of so many draft picks to win now, and we did win now. Like I said, we did just win now. That in the future, probably not going to be very financially set with what we have, what we can, afford. Like I said, it was $120 million for $120 million for 6 years to be in Buffalo. I mean, good luck, bro. Have fun. You have Josh Allen. That's going to be sick, but it was fun while it lasted. It was very fun. Anyways, everybody, I'm going to leave it there for this week's episode. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching on this beautiful St. Patrick's Day. I hope you had fun. I hope you have a good time. You can always support the podcast by liking the video on YouTube, sharing it on YouTube, going to the podcast sites, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. They're all there under Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva, and on YouTube as well. Leave a rating, leave a review, DM me a topic possibly. What I could talk about. It's always helpful. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys back next week.